All right, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another beer from Hop Butcher for the World, and they're out of Chicago, Illinois, and this is their Grid. So this is an American Pale Ale that comes in at 5.75% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed time of review. This can is approximately 1 month old. So Grid. It's funny because the beer that's kind of on my bucket list from Hop Butcher is their Double Grid. I've heard nothing but good things about that beer, but I haven't had a chance to try yet. I've had a Digital Frontier, which is the Triple IPA version of that beer, and now I get to try just the base Pale Ale. So Double Grid, the Digital Frontier, and this beer all hopped with Citra and Mosaic hops, and this is the Pale Ale version. So at some point, I hope to get a chance to try Double Grid just to see what the hype is about. I would say, as far as a Hop Butcher beer, that is a beer I've heard nothing but good things for like a year, and yeah, get to try the Triple IPA version, the Pale Ale version, hopefully at some point the Double IPA version. Anyway, let's give this a crack. Like I said, about a month old, and yeah, let's give it a pour. Oh, all right, we'll see how it looks in the glass, but pouring out doesn't look as hazy as anticipated. Go like that. Yeah, so I mean, that has a little bit of haze to it, but it has, I mean, you know, I can't see through it, but so it's hazy to some degree, but it has like a somewhat of a clarity to it. It has this really nice bright burnt, I wouldn't say burnt, I'd say bright orange color. A lot of carbonation from the bottom, about a 2-finger bright white, very fluffy, almost soap sudsy looking head. But yeah, it's not what I anticipated. Let's do the, I always like to do tasting notes. A lot of people are like, I'd like to wait on the tasting notes. But to be honest with you, when I do like the beer mail boxing, I already see the tasting notes. Like, I'm not going to sit here and bullshit you, so might as well look at them and just see. Bright citrus, pleasant, dank, tropical fruit. Okay. That wasn't that hard. Anyway, it just looks like a this looks like a, you know, old school kind of East Coast IPA. Let's get notes on it. Oh yeah, a lot of citrus. Tons of like orange rind, grapefruit rind, maybe a little, just like the rind of like a lot of different citrus fruits. Has a little bit of like this sweeter, like almost bready kind of malt base to it. Little bit of like a sweet pine, resinous pine mixed in. Oh, there's the dank. As I swirled, it definitely got a little bit of a dank character, like a basil, like an herbaceous dankness. Oh yeah. So wow. So just swirling up like that and just opening up in the glass, a lot of dankness for this one. 5.75% American Pale Ale. Holy shit. Yeah, it smells pretty good. It smells like it's gonna be super crushing and refreshable. Super crushable and refreshing. I just mixed those up because I don't know what I'm doing. Let's get into it. Cheers, everybody. Thanks to Hop Butcher. Yeah, I could crush like 7 billion of those. Really nice. Fresh in my head because I had it recently is Zombie Dust from Three Floyds. This has a lot of, it's very reminiscent to that beer. That beer is a Citra focused beer, and this has Citra and Mosaic. But it's just kind of reminding me of that, but like a lighter on the palate. Body this one's like lower side of medium, almost approaching medium. Pretty big. I would say medium body for 5.75% is nice. That's actually, I would think this would be more like the higher side of light, lower side of medium. This is more straight up medium, I'd say. The mouthfeel kind of has an old school kind of mouthfeel to it. It's soft and smooth, but it has a decent amount of carbonation. Very prickly and spritzy on the tongue. Effervescent in general. So yeah, this reminds me of an old school American Pale Ale from the body mouthfeel for sure. The taste though, just because Zombie Dust is kind of fresh in my mind, has a lot of those characters. A lot of citrus juice, like an orange, tangerine, pink grapefruit, but then also the rindy type of like peel to that too, like the pith of it. There's just a lot of citrus in general up front. Pass through the palate, I'm getting like a slight resinous pine with a little bit of like a dank quality. Yeah. And then on the back of the palate, this one dries out substantially. This is like almost a full-on dry finish. There's a moderate bitterness, and it's sweet up front with all that nice malty goodness along with those hop characters, but on the back of the palate, it dries out substantially and also has a nice moderate bitterness. Yeah, to me, this is like a less intense, lighter Zombie Dust. I don't know. That's just what, and again, I just drank that beer within the, by the time you see these reviews and whatnot, you probably should see the Zombie Dust review maybe like a week before. I don't know, something like that. I drank about a week apart or so. What I like about this is it's super drinkable and it's very well balanced. And what I mean by that is there's enough sweetness, there's enough of that juicy hop character, dryness, and then a bitterness that all combines, and it doesn't lean one of any way to any substantial degree. Like, it's not too sweet, it's not too bitter, it's not too dry. There's not too much of a juicy citrus thing going on. It's a really easy to drink, and this would be a nice like crusher. If I lived close to Chicago and close to Hop Butcher, whenever they would release this, I'd buy like a couple 4-packs, throw them in the fridge, and just drink on them. Whenever I want something that's not going to overwhelm my palate and have some nice flavors and not be too high of an ABV, that's pretty much what this beer is. So to me, this is an amazing, like, blow your mind type of beer, but it's a really well made, well executed, nicely balanced American pale ale that has some newer school qualities with the juiciness and some old school qualities with that like resinous pine, the bitterness, the dryness, and I really like it. So like I said, bright citrus, yes. Pleasant dank, sure. Tropical fruit, really no tropical fruit for me. This is all for me, for my terrible palate. It's mostly citrus based, but yeah, I'm gonna give Grid from Hop Butcher a straight 4 out of 5. It's a really nice beer. To get higher, I think I'd want more of like an impactful kind of flavor, because they are very light, but you're drinking a 5.75% pale ale, sub 6% beer, has nice flavors, not much more to say about. So price and availability, like I say, with all these Hop Butcher reviews, typically Chicago, they get drips and drabs out to places. I know they start showing up recently in Michigan. Outside of that, I don't really know, but if you live in and around the Chicago area, you should be able to grab them. And I believe for their pale ales, it's $12.99 a 4-pack, so you're talking $13 a 4-pack. That's a pretty good fucking price nowadays, with things just crazy in terms of prices. So, you're talking $3.25 for, one of these beers. Yeah, all day. So yeah, thanks again to Hop Butcher for this one. Thanks to everybody stopping by for another beer review here in the Beer Patrol. 5.75%. Can't even tell there's alcohol in here. And Hop Butcher does it again. Like I said, not like screaming from the rooftops, oh my God, you gotta try this beer, but I'm still very interested in trying Double Grid, because Digital Frontier was amazing. I gave that a 4.75 out of 5. That was top tier, like one of my favorite beers from Hop Butcher, my favorite Triple IPA from them. I was hoping this would be like a mind-blowing pale ale. For me, it's just really drinkable. So I'm curious to see where Double Grid lands. So hopefully next time they brew it, I can get my hands on it and I'll get to check it out. At least that's the hope anyway. Till the next one. Cheers.